Hi, Miss Cormier. Um, hey, my beard's getting longer. So anyway, I want to talk more about the psychotic break a little after I had the 6 month psychotic break on the internet. I started only could really process things involving Marvel or DC. And I remember Dad giving movie options, and I said X-Men. And when he said Greatest Showman, I said X-Men. I when I was thinking of the Greatest Showman, I wanted to see, and so I said X-Men because it had Hugh Jackman in it. And then I said Wolverine after you prop up Greatest Showman, and I said Wolverine and the X-Men. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that was my way of process? That's how my brain processes things.
I do not.
Like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Did you do that at the time?
No.
What did you thought then?
I just didn't know. I was just learning everything day.
And I remember when I was watching Wonder Woman, I brought up the word ballerina because how Wonder Woman attacks people with her laugh. So it reminds me of ballerina and how I think of Alyssa. When I think of ballerina, I think of Alyssa and Deanna. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did Lydia told you that?
No.
I said ballet when I was looking at Wonder Woman with her attacking her wrestle. Did you know that story? Dad?
What?
Remember when I was watching Wonder Woman with Lydia?
Yeah.
I said ballet when I was watching Wonder Woman because ballet is what I thought of when I was watching Wonder Woman was tearing people apart with her lasso of truth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did that make sense to you at the time when Lydia told you this? But she didn't know what I was thinking, right?
Right.
So she only told you what she heard, right?
Right.
Did it even make sense why I said that?
Not really, not at the time. It doesn't know.
Well, I missed the last part.
It does now.
Okay. Because that's how my ring works. And I remember when I was having the psychotic break on the way to the hospital in Dad's truck, I was saying Deanna, Alyssa, DC, Marvel, and then seizures. I said seizures once Dad says we're at the hospital. And then I said seizures. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because I got those four things, Deanna, Alyssa, Marvel, and DC planted in my brain. Literally, I always think about them, and I always think of them when I think of something else referring to when someone's referring to something else. I remembered when they were starting a Marvel or DC film that no one really saw. So that's why I said I want to see Wolverine and the X-Men, with me responding to Dad offering to taking to see the Greatest Showman is what I was doing. Does that make sense? You get that, Dad?
Yeah.
And the reason why I could only respond to a DC, something involving DC or Marvel, is because that's what happens when my brain's in loop and it's slowing down, and it's in loop, and it's getting slower like a snail, and it's in loop like what loops? Like a computer, right?
Yeah.
Computers loop sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And you know how I was having the psychotic break on the internet? Well, the reason why I kept on bringing up all those Marvel movies because I kept on forgetting I made videos previous to them. I'm not forgetting that anymore. Did you know I was forgetting that I made videos previous to them, Dad? Mm-hmm. But now you know. How you feel? Better?
Yeah.
Because you understand me better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you know what the signs, what my behavior is going to be like when earlier on, if I can only respond. And also, I can also only hear things involving Marvel or DC. And the two merge together in my head because that's what I hear most of it. Only when that's the only thing I can hear. When, that's the only thing I can hear. Marvel involving, or something involving Marvel or something involving DC. So, even if someone's asked me, like Dad was asking me about pizza, but it came out as then it started muffling and as Marvel or DC at the same time. Because the Marvel and DC were muffled together in my brain. Because that's all I was hearing. And when Lydia said, you know you're going to teach how, you know, much from movies I wasn't saying anything, but then it started muffling into, changing into Marvel. And then I heard someone, I think it was Dad, that asked me if we want to watch a Marvel movie. And I said, yeah. Remember? How did you know the right things to say, Daddy? Or did you not know that was the only two things I could hear? Was Marvel and DC involving stuff? And because I have those four things planted in my brain, the other two things I can hear is Alyssa or Deanna. When I'm really out of it, I can hear also Marvel and DC because that's when my brain objectively knows are the only thing that never has truly hurt me in my childhood, physically anyway. And those are the four things I'm nostalgic to, more than anything. Deanna, Alyssa, Marvel, DC. As in DC Comics. The brand. And when I think of Marvel, I think of Alyssa. And when I think of DC, I think of Deanna more than Alyssa. And when I think of Marvel, I think of Alyssa more than Deanna. Make sense, Alyssa? I mean, Miss Cormier. Make sense, Danny? Mm-hmm. So now that those are planted, and because those things are planted in my brain, when I'm really sick, those are the only 4 things I can hear physically. Now you know if I only respond to a Marvel or DC or Alyssa question or a Deanna question, you know to take me to the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what hospital you would take me to? You know what? We can decide when that happens. You can decide when that happens, right?
Yeah.
But it's got to be a good hospital.
Right.
But I was going to ask you to answer that question, but then I realized, wait, that sounds like a very stressful question. You know that.
Yeah.
So that's why I told you you don't have to answer that question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I realize how stressful that question can be. That's all.